Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nasipi Zwane back with a brand new episode of Sledging On podcast. And today I am with Alex, and she is a member of one of the most wholesome bands in South Africa, all the way from Cape Town. It's We Kill Cowboys. What a name! And this is something that I've been sort of just thinking about throughout the entire week. You know, why are we killing cowboys, Alex? What did they do?
I mean, what didn't they do, my dude? A question. I mean, I love country music. That's a thing there, but I mean, it's kind of like a metaphor to like, stick it to the man. You know what I mean? It's cowboys. It's like the system. So we're not killing anyone. We're cool people. We're about love, but it's like fuck the man sort of vibe. I can swear, right?
Yeah, 100%. Please
Yes.
just swear
Okay.
your heart out.
Cool.
And one of
Sweet.
the key points basically when it comes to you guys is obviously when you look on your guys' Spotify sort of profile, what you guys have written there is that it's a psychedelic grunge rock sort of band. And then when I was communicating with Warren, he sent through obviously an EPK and such, and I saw it's also like a psychedelic punk type vibe. So which one is it? And you know, what sort of influences do you guys sort of credit to the sort of music that you guys do?
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, the trying to put the band into a genre has always been a tricky thing because we come from so many different backgrounds as a collective in this band. I mean, I come from a punk rock background. I grew up in the punk rock scene since I was like 15. You know, Andrew's a metal drummer. Jono's the blues kind of country dude. Donnie's joined us, has got his, punk rock metal roots. So I don't know. I think for us, we like to just express what we express and feel what we feel. We don't like to box ourselves into a certain kind of specific sound, but I guess an overall sound would maybe, yeah, be like, grunge, punk rock, bit of psychedelia vibes. Yeah.
I love what you said there when you said, you know, you got into it at like the age of 15. And I got into music very, very late. So I want you to sort of paint a picture for me as to what the scene was like when you were 15 years old.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to kind of grow up in that era because it's not, I mean, I feel like in South Africa we had this very special, before my time and then up until, I'm almost 40 now. So up until like from like 14, 15, all the way up until my late teens, almost 20 years old, it was this great time. It was like skate parks and the sports clubs and any it was just punk rock, ska, metal, HXC, hardcore. And it was all about people coming together and us as kids coming together and, watching bands, playing in punk bands. And it's almost like fusing all the genres and not, it was never about, this genre and that genre. It was about skating, about, the underground kids that came from like, troubled homes, difficult backgrounds, very religious backgrounds. It was a space that like, it changed my life. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that. So I think that being able to grow up in that era where it was just, and it was word of mouth, there was no social media. So it was fucking flyers, it was posters, it was going to the merch stand and going, oh my God, like what bands are out there now, like what's happening. And that's why our music, okay, when's the next gig? Here's a whole lot of flyers. So it's a really organic scene. It was filled with a lot of, I just think for kids like us that struggled a lot growing up, it was a place where we felt heard and seen and safe and could just experience things without getting totally fucked up. It was really about the music. And yeah, man, it was a special time.
If you had a choice to have We Kill Cowboys exist back then and exist now, if you had to compare the two, which would you
Oh
prefer?
Jesus. That's such a hard question because yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, like there's pros and cons because of course then it was a whole different energy, and there was a different appreciation. I feel the support for shows. I mean, there were shows every Friday, every Saturday, and they were packed.
Yeah.
Always 400 people. It was always well supported. And that's like northern suburbs, southern suburbs, deep south. It was you're going to shows. In the same light, now also having more experience and kind of like social media is always a weird thing. But what it does do is allow you to like, get the music out there and also touch base with bands internationally and other like-minded people. So I think that it's such a hard question because of course, like playing, We Kill Cowboys back then, we would have fucking killed. It would have been sick. But in the same light now, we're also progressing and doing things. It's a whole different world. It's like nothing like it was then.
Yeah.
So can't even answer that, dude. Both. Can we just like
Yeah.
both be transports and do both?
It's a
Yeah.
fair answer, and I love Alex that you mentioned social media there, which is something that is very. I feel like whatever. anyone is doing these days, whether you're making music, whether, if you're going to be doing something and you want to bring it like to the people to sort of receive in a certain way, you need to try and master social media. So it's become something that you need to learn on top of whatever it is that you're doing. So what
You're
sort
like a
of
content creator besides your profession. Yeah.
exactly? So what sort of practices is We Kill Cowboys sort of doing that enables you guys to thrive online?
You know, dude, it honestly is just it's like making an effort, like passion first. But I mean, I handle all that stuff personally. Like I have no interest to pass it on to anyone because this is my baby. I really care about this project deeply. It means a lot to me. We work really hard. And I think honestly, it's just like it's one of those things where it's like shifting the perception around social media because as much as I'm also a person who is like, fuck that, I understand the importance of it and the ability that it enables you to connect with people and not only get yourself out there, but see what's happening and be inspired by that. And that fine balance of not comparing yourself and being overwhelmed by it, but rather going, okay, cool, this is a tool that can actually be used to push the music. Because essentially, it is a brand, even though I'm punk rock at heart, but it's like, I want to be successful, man, and not to be like fucking famous, oh my God, and like make all the money. It's like, we have a gift, dude. All of us have gifts. And it's like to share it with people. People, it's like the world's changed. So, you fucking post every day, you create that content because at the end of the day, you're only going to get as far as you're going to get by putting the work in. And that's what it is. So it's a ball ache, but like, that's just how the world is, man. If you want to push things, you got to do what it takes. And social media is a part of that.
100%. That is one of the best answers I've actually heard. So thank you for
Oh,
that one.
thank you. I ramble. So I'm like, oh God.
No, 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 it's all good. It's perfect. We need that. Well, you guys
Cool.
are basically, Warren mentioned Mongrel records as well,
Mm,
which is something that I feel we need to touch on because there's a lot of, when it comes to record labels, there's a lot of misconceptions and such, and there's a lot
yeah,
of things that consist of the truth as well. So with you guys and
for
your
sure.
experience, being signed in a way, what is that sort of like working with Mongrel Records? What are the dynamics?
Warren is incredible, dude. And it's really about, I feel, also the connection that you have with people. Just music, it's the main guys. And these are dudes I've known through the punk rock scene for many years. So I know the kind of people they are. I understand what they're doing. And so for me, it was also wanting to support my homies and support people that really love music and are not there to go and try fuck you as a musician. They're musicians themselves. And moving to Mongrel, obviously, as our sound progressed to a harder sort of like sound, Warren is someone, running Mongrel Records and Plug who really, really cares. He's got a lot of experience. And with us, man, we aren't like full-blown artist deal vibes. So it's like for me, we have a great understanding of like, it's like us and Mongrel and Warren, we're here to help you together. We're here for the common understanding of pushing the music. And there's freedom, there's total freedom. No one is here trying to capitalize on anything. Other record labels, different deal. We're talking about like bigger shit there. These are people that are, Warren gives a fuck, dude. So I think for us, it's been a great help. It's been a very big support. And, it's a teamwork effort, dude. And we would not honestly like, as much as we've worked hard ourselves, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for working with people that also had experience and knowledge and connections. And we work together and push it forward. So I think it's all about trusting your instinct, trusting your guts, doing your research, understanding who you're going into these like, contractual obligations with, whether you're independent or you go with a label, you got to do your research, dude. That's what it boils down to.
No, 100%. It makes a lot of sense. And all the things that you said about Warren there are 100% true. Shout out to Warren. You guys obviously have The Rage, which is, an EP that's coming up next year, early next year. So tell me a bit about that there. Obviously, you guys did drop like a single as well, in anticipation of that there. So what can we sort of expect when it comes to, the EP itself? Is it the usual sound that we've heard maybe in the past? Or would you say it's more like, it's a lot harder? There's some new elements that we can expect from you guys.
It's definitely, I mean, definitely our natural progression is just going harder. I think we're just allowing the writing process to unfold naturally. There's not like a sort of clear idea of, okay, we want to sound. We just naturally are writing harder music. I think all of us as a whole band are really, really fucking pumped because we've been together for, it's 2 years, but a year and a half playing. No, yeah. I mean, it's just over a year of playing live shows. So for almost a full year, we're just rehearsing. So we're still like a new project in the terms of, project scope. We're starting to really gel and understand how we work together. So I feel like with this EP coming out, it's really starting to hear how we gel together, how we work together, how we write. And it's fucking raw, it's real, it's going harder. There's a bit more of like a grungy vibe coming through as well. It's just really exciting also being able to work with a engineer, and an amazing mastering engineer as well, who fucking gets what we're doing. And that's with Pink Codeine and Earth Demon, and he's tracking the rest of the EP. So it's very exciting to put that out there and be like, you're working with a dude who actually gets what you're doing and can really mix and understand what's happening, and to get that out there. So we're fucking pumped, dude. I mean, it's called The Rage because that's where the energy is going. It's the rage for society. It's the rage for like toxic shit and all that kind of stuff. So just amped, I think, hear what people think.
Yeah, one of the things when you're looking at Earth Demon, is that you guys have cited sort of like a narcissistic type, relationship. Sort of like, to me, that isn't really the greatest thing. I like it, not really like a positive. So what I'm wanting to, or where I'm going here is, do you feel like negativity or sort of like not necessarily positive vibes inspire great artistry in a way? Because most of the time you'll find that a lot of artists will write from a
Yeah.
place of pain, and and it comes out and it's
Yeah.
brilliant and it's a hit. Or do you feel like you actually can make something good and the content is about, like, being happy and smiles and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool question. Oh man, and it sounds so like, dude, I personally, because I write for the band, right? I personally, my whole life, I've been writing since I was a kid. I find it really hard to write when I'm super stoked. And not necessarily when I'm in a super stoked state. It's not about writing when I'm in a depressed, or shit's going down, but it's kind of like, I almost feel, for me, when I write, well, it's like a channeling thing. It's kind of like stuff sort of comes up. And I also think that, even with the songs, the way that I write songs too, it's not necessarily about going with Earth Demon. It's about narcissistic relationship. It's also about society. So I like to write in a way where people can listen, and according to what they're going through, their own experience, they can go, oh, okay, this is about, it's my with my mom, my thing with my boyfriend, or the thing with this person, or society, or drugs, whatever it is. It's not even a conscious thing to write and go, fuck, I want to write some dark shit. It literally is about whatever's coming out at the time. And I do think that when we go through times of struggle, and when we all of us have experiences that are difficult and challenging, that also help us to grow, I feel like that is what connects human beings. In order to be able to like feel that goodness, it's all about the duality. But I think for me, like with writing, I find it difficult to go like, I'm gonna write a song about like, how fucking sick the day was, or like I went on this rad trip, and I'm not quite sure why that is, to be honest. I think the things that we struggle, when we express our struggles, we connect with people that don't feel so alone. And that lends to not being so alone, feeling connected, and then goodness comes from that. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes absolute sense. Like, everyone goes
Yeah.
through some sort of grief, and we can all sort of relate to that, right? So it makes a
Yeah,
lot
for
of sense.
sure.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the most important things, obviously, when I was doing my research on the band is, over 600 monthly listeners. Now, it takes something pretty special to get a lot of streams on Spotify and
It's
on
hard. Yeah.
these. Yeah, it's very difficult. But the thing is, yeah, what makes it significant is the fact that every single month you've built sort of like a community here, where a lot of people are coming through, they're listening to the songs, they're coming back each month, as opposed to maybe one song that's got like 5,000
Yeah.
streams and those people never come back. So how do you guys
Yeah.
grow that community and make sure that people keep coming back for your music?
Honestly, I think it comes also down to the social media thing. I'm really, I make a big effort with those small things, like creating really kiff content, posting every day, but keeping it very like organic and real, and people feel connected to that. Obviously, playing live as much as we can. We play a lot with that intention of, the more you play, it really is about live shows as well. It's like the more you play, you create those followings, and playing with different laps, different venues, different bands, like getting on tour, doing all those kind of things. And then it's yeah, and I kind of think, it's always hard, because you're like, what is that key formula? You're like, what is the moment where it drops and the song will get, fucking 3,000 streams? Like, what is that formula? And so it's I think it's just about, like, it's like a day by day thing of looking at it, studying it, and honestly, dude, it's being ourselves, like being ourselves and putting ourselves out there and going, you know what, like, we're gonna do our thing to our heart's content, push it as hard as we can, And we know that all tools, the social media tools, this and that. But I mean, honestly, dude, that's literally what I do. I mean, I've got no like long answer of like, I fucking do this. It's like, I'm just like, okay, do these posts, bro, write fucking kiff music, play fucking rad shows, and have fun. Like, that is the main thing.
No, it's very beautiful. I'm loving these answers. We get a lot
Good.
of artists that come through to the show, and a lot of them are obviously just praising Cape Town. They have only the nicest things to say.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to know from you, as someone who is in Cape Town, it's going to be a bit difficult to say. Obviously, you want to represent Cape Town in the best way possible. You're going to paint it
Yeah.
without any flaws or anything like that. But sometimes it almost sounds too good to be true, to a point where it's like, is the grass really greener on the other side? So, your honest opinion on the Cape Town scene right now, what is it what state is it in at the moment?
Ooh, I'm gonna offend some people. No,
Go
you
for
know
it.
what, dude? Like I'm a born and bred Cape Townian, and like I said, I've been playing music here since I was 15, so we're going on almost 15 years. No, sorry, 20 years. I'm almost 40. Fucking hell. How's my maths, bro? I make tattoos. I don't do numbers for a living. But look, there's a lot of great shit. There's a lot of fucking great bands, dude. There's people doing really cool stuff with the right idea, working together. It can be very clicky. The scene can be very clicky. There can be situations where it's the same sort of bands playing the same lineups without sort of integrating other bands into it, and it can be very niche like that. That I have an issue with. At the end of the day, it's kind of going, I would love it to be a case of people being more broad with their lineup sections to introduce more varieties and more genres into these lineups like it was back in those old days. We lost a lot of venues, obviously after COVID as well. So it has been difficult here, but also a lot of great stuff happening. I just feel, look, I fucking love playing Joburg. I mean, Joburg, it's a different vibe out there. I'm grateful to everyone that comes to our shows and to I'm trying to like because I really do support what we're doing here. I fucking love Cape Town. I love the bands. I support it. Venue owners, guys, let's be more, inclusive. Let's not keep it here with the same genres, the same bands at the same venues. Let's bring it all together and let's be open because we got to support each other, man. That's how it works. If we bring in these dudes, your crowd watches them, our crowd watches you. And that's how we make like the metal bands with the fucking psych bands.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it all together because that is how we create a thriving scene. So big love, Cape Town. And also we can do better, but it's all a learning process. Yeah. Let me not get too deep into that.
Why do you guys hate Durban so much? No one ever comes here.
Dude, I used to play German a lot.
Yeah.
I used to play the Winston and like when I was in a band like about like 10, 12 years ago, we played like Splashy quite a few years in a row and Durban is sick. But like where are the venues there, right? It is a bit like you guys have lost also like quite a lot of venues that side.
Even the Winston itself is gone, eh? Did you know?
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, dude, that was like a fucking establishment.
Yeah, true. But I mean, as of late, there's sort of been like this resurgence in a way because a lot of the artists have sort of been approaching venues and they've sort of just been making sort of like these makeshift sort of it's essentially restaurants and such, but they have
Yeah.
been very like being willing to accommodate some of the bands and such. So it would actually be really nice to see you guys come through for a show or two.
I mean, look, dude, we would love to. We were actually thinking about it when we toured Josie a few months ago of actually with Rough Magic because we like good homies with those dudes. So it's like actually doing a proper thing. And because it would be so rad. I mean, maybe also the more bands that make that effort to even just go to those makeshift, like the restaurant slash venue things could actually, hey, there's something happening here. So I promise you, dude, 2024, we're going to do it. You'll see us
Yeah.
there.
Sweet. Hey, hopefully you guys are gonna tour. You're gonna tour the EP
Yeah.
as well. You're gonna come play a couple of shows here. I'd love to see some of that stuff live. I mean, I don't want to keep you too long because obviously it's in the evening. But what I want to get from you is in terms of We Kill Cowboys. What is sort of next? What is coming up? What can we expect in the
Mm.
future? Besides, obviously the EP is coming out early 2024. What other plans do you guys have that we can look forward to?
Oh, dude, I think just writing Kiff music. Definitely touring a lot more in the country. We're busy organizing the UK for next year. So definitely just, yeah, like heading overseas, but definitely just writing, just putting Kiff stuff out there. It's like letting the music evolve, playing more fucking Kiff shows, and also just definitely like playing with more bands, dude. Like bringing in the younger guys, playing more shows, doing more bands, releasing more music videos, as much as we can. So I think that's just kind of where we're at, is just do the graft. have fun.
While we're actually talking about empowering and uplifting some of the younger bands, give me top three bands that Alex loves and that people should check out right now in South Africa.
Oh, damn, these questions. You're like,
Putting you on the spot.
okay, cool. So I would say, you see, I feel like I'm being a bit biased, but definitely Rough Magic. I mean, those dudes are just power, and they're fucking amazing human beings. I would say, besides, there was also a band called Nani, Nani, exclamation question mark, a Cape Town band. That dude sounds like Kurt Cobain reincarnated. They're amazing. They're youngsters. They're a three-piece. They're awesome. It's Nani, exclamation question mark. And I would say the third band. Oh man, I'm gonna break some hearts now, my dude.
Go for it.
Like you didn't mention us. We thought we were homies. Fuck, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think when I was we were in Jersey as well. But honestly, like Everett Snayman and the Avery, like holy shit balls. Like my brain exploded when we watched them play. They are amazing, also just wonderful people. But there's so much more.
Yeah,
There's so many
yeah, there
more.
are a lot.
But
Like I think of Cape Town and I immediately think of obviously we kill cowboys. I think of peasants. I think of Doom Trigger.
oh, Peasant, dude, tough guy, fucking black lung. There we go. Systematic.
I could
Oh Jesus, dude.
Cape Town. You guys are killing it right now. Like I wish I lived in Cape Town. That's all like dope.
Oh
The
my
lineups
dude.
there are
Come visit.
it's absolutely wild. Definitely, I'm going to do that. It's in the plans. But
Awesome.
I just want to thank you so much for this. I really appreciate you taking an opportunity and taking the moment to spend some time with me to tell me about the band. I think we've learned quite a bit. You know, we know of the EP that's coming out. We know that you guys
Yeah.
are doing the sound is going to be a lot harder, and maybe a date. I don't know if you're in a position to tell us. It is going to be early Jan, right? In 2024.
Yeah.
Is there an exact date maybe that we can expect it?
It looks like the last week, the last Friday of Jan, we're still ironing out the kinks, but we'll do like a super sick show, and then we'll be hitting Joburg and your side, my dog, to like celebrate
Yes, yes,
the
please.
the EP. You see, now I made a
So you
promise,
need to
dude.
come.
I'm a
Yeah,
woman of my word.
definitely have to come through.
Exactly. But also, dude, thank you so much for also having me. Your questions are
Aware.
awesome. It was really nice to chat to you as
Thank you
well.
so much.
So I'm glad we could actually make it work. You know what I
After
mean?
the missions we actually went through to get here,
Yes.
people have no idea. I
Yeah.
want to thank the audience as well for tuning into this episode. It's been really epic. It's been Alex and I. Alex, I think we need to play off with Earth Demon because that is the single that is out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the single. And I hope you enjoy the episode as much as I've enjoyed it. For all things Sludge Underground, we've got our website www.sludgeunderground.com. And yeah, it's been an epic episode. Until next time, it is bye for now.
It leaves a black stain, an empty hole, trading sense of decay, mind control. It's all consuming. Where are my thoughts? They're sitting in your pocket. They're sitting in your pocket. Say you're a father. Say you're a mother. It's all a great illusion that keeps us closer. Your words are poison, a verbal killer. Now I'm feeling dizzy, and now I'm feeling dizzy.